Good afternoon. We now start. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at the start and also at the end of the pep talk. So please show your faces in the video during the picture taking. Reminder after the pep talk is to take the online Learning Com Evaluation Test exercise or OLETE for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like the one shown here. I have placed the link. I will be placing the link in the chat box later on. Another reminder, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. A request will be to type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn now on your video and please show your faces. So please turn on show your faces for us to get a good group picture. Please, Lawson, Hershey, Hers, okay. Ems, Concepcion, are you joining us for the group picture taking? Not. Oh, get ready, get set. 1, 2, 3.
Pero wala naman picture.
Ano kang camera? Ano mo camera mo?
Yan, wala.
Ano yun?
Nalagay ko lang.
Oh, pumasok na si Almira. Okay, I'll repeat it. Bumabol. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Ay, balik ka pa.
I'll be placing the link to the Olete in the chat box. I place it on the link already on the chat box. I have a patient empowerment program which I would like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. And then from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses as shown here. May 17, today, marks the start of year number 5. So we just finished our 4 years of pep talk last week. Now we're starting on year 5. How long the pep talk will last will depend on the enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance of all the people concerned, you and me. My pep talk today is entitled Patient Story, TLT. TLT stands for Tell, Learn, and Teach. Thyroid ultrasound, TIRADS, some flaws. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding on some flaws on thyroid ultrasound TIRADS reporting as part of their health management based on the patient's story. The contents will be the following. I'll be telling a story, and then I will be expounding on what is a TIRADS, what are TIRADS 3 to 5, how does R.O. Hoson manage a patient with TIRADS 3 to 5, and then some takeaways from the patient's story. A disclaimer, the R.O. Hoson pep talk contains the R.O. Hoson's thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations, or what I call TPORs, come from the experiences of Dr. Hoson, as well as the writings and the readings of other health professionals in the internet. First, let's go to the patient's story. RBG was age 61 when she first consulted me in August 8, 2023 for her thyroid concern. She was previously seen by at least 2 physicians, an endocrinologist, and a surgeon, and was advised to have a thyroid operation. She came to me on August 8, 2023 for another opinion. It could be the third or fourth opinion on her thyroid concern. This was my first record on her first thyroid consult with me on August 8, 2023. I'll expound on this in a little while. So there was a palpable nodule on the right lobe here, about 3 centimeters. It was not hard, no neck node, and the pulse rate was 80 per minute. The ultrasound done on August 1, 2023, before she came to see me, so showed a 2.9 nodule on the right lobe with a TIRADS 4 categorization, as well as many small nodules on the other parts of the thyroid gland, including the left lobe. But these nodules, small nodules, were not palpable. I don't have the official thyroid ultrasound done on August 1, 2023, but essentially the contents are spelled out here. So this was based on the TIRADS 4 reporting on the ultrasound that the previous endocrinologists and surgeons who saw her recommended operations because TIRADS 4 stands for moderately suspicious for cancer or malignancy. So yan ang basis bakit siya ni-recommend na magpa-opera by the endocrinologist and the surgeon, the other surgeons who saw her. My diagnosis at that time, after my physical examination and after evaluation of her ultrasound, despite the reading of TIRADS 4, was MCAG. So this MCAG stands for multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. It's a benign thyroid condition. So I was not suspecting thyroid malignancy. We discussed the options after my diagnosis. Options 1 will be medicine without biopsy. Option number 2, needle biopsy. Then, depending on the result of the biopsy, either medicine or operation. So if the needle biopsy will show cancer, then I would recommend an operation. If it does not show cancer, I would recommend medical therapy. So between these two options at that time, she opted for a needle biopsy. Okay. So I did the needle biopsy. The results showed hemorrhagic aspirate smear. So strictly speaking, this result showed inadequate sampling kasi blood lang nakita sa smear, walang mga cells. But based on my gross examination of the needle aspiration and aspirate, So it has been my practice to examine also what I got from the needle aspiration without not just relying on the report of the pathologist. So with the gross examination of the needle aspirate, I maintain my diagnosis of colloid adenomatous nodule, benign pa rin. So this is the result of the needle biopsy, which showed hemorrhagic aspirate smear. So, but based on my cross-examination of the needle aspiration, because I was able to obtain 2 cc of colloid fluid with residual mass, the moment I got fluid, okay, from a nodule on the thyroid, it's usually benign. So that's my diagnosis. I maintain it at colloid adenomatous nodule. So here are the evidences of my documents. Hemorrhagic smear on needle biopsy, but cross findings on my needle aspiration, I was able to obtain 2 cc of fluid with residual mass. So my diagnosis was still colloid adenomatous goiter. So we discussed the options after my diagnosis, after the needle biopsy. So I gave her the options of medicine and operation. So she opted for a trial of medical therapy. So thus I started her on levothyroxine at 200 microgram per day. So here, plan trial of medical suppressive therapy, levothyroxine, initially 100, and then I usually increase it up to 2 tablets per day after 1 week. I saw her on November 14, 2023. That was after her ultrasound. That's about 3 months after the initial consult. So there was no decrease in the size of the nodule at that time. So 3 months after, so I decreased the dosage of levothyroxine to 150 microgram per day because she was complaining of weight loss as a side effect of the levothyroxine. Then, but I asked her to have a repeat ultrasound after 3 months. Ultrasound done on November 13, 2023. 3 months, she was 3 months on medicine at that time at 150 microgram per day. This showed disappearance of some cyst, but with unchanged size in the 2.9 cm nodules on the right lobe and still with the TI-RADS 4 reading. So nawala na yung mga ibang cyst, pero yung 2.9 nodule na nakakapa natin dati at seen on ultrasound, TI-RADS 4 pa rin ang reported categorization. So this was the ultrasound done on November 13, 2023, 3 months on levothyroxine, unchanged size in the 2.9 cm nodules, still with the categorization of TI-RADS 4. So what will be standing out here will be ito yung report ng ultrasound, mixed solid cystic nodule. So complex siya, no? So usually pag may nakita kang mga complex nodule, usually benign pa rin siya, no? Okay. Pero yung mga ultrasonographer, they read it as suspicion for cancer, moderate suspicion, no? So next visit was February 27, 2024. So 6 months after the initial consult. Now, 6 months after, the right thyroid nodule has decreased in size on palpation from 3 centimeter in August 2023, now to 1.5 to 2 centimeters in February 2024. So 6 months after. So this was confirmed by the ultrasound. Ito yung confirmation sa ultrasound. Okay. So there was a decrease in the size of the thyroid nodule, on the right lobe from 2.9 by 2.4 by 1.8 to 2.5 by 2.1 and 1.8. So konting decrease lang, pero nag-decrease. So despite this, the radiologist maintained a TI-RADS 4 categorization. which means moderately suspicious for malignancy or cancer. So the next visit was September 24, 2024, with the repeat ultrasound again, 1 year, this time 1 year after the initial consult. The right thyroid nodule on palpation was no longer palpable, hindi ko na makapa. So this is after 1 year of taking the medicine. So yung 2.9 or 3 centimeter thyroid nodule, which I initially palpated on 1 year ago, nawala na, hindi ko na makapa. No? But the ultrasound showed meron pang nodule pero nag-decrease na in size, no? From 2.5 to 1.1. But yung reading pa rin ng ultrasonographer, thyroid's 4 pa rin. May suspicion pa rin for malignancy despite na nag-decrease in size. So ito yung evidence na ultrasound. Okay. 12 months on medicine, further decrease in the size of the thyroid nodule on the right side from 2.5 to 1.8. So halos 0.7 centimeter ang decrease. Okay. But the radiologist still maintained a thyroid's 4, which means moderately suspicious for malignancy. The next visit was on March 2025, again with a repeat ultrasound para ma-document lang kung ano ang nangyayari. At this time, there was still no palpable thyroid nodule. So this was after 1.5 years on medicine na levothyroxine. The ultrasound showed a further decrease, lumit pa, from 1.1 to 0.7. But the ultrasonographer still maintained a thyroid's 4 reading. Okay. So ito yung evidence ng ultrasound. Okay. So 1.1 to 0.7. So lumit pa. Okay. Pero yung ultrasonographer still says it's thyroid's 4. So summary for this patient's story, RBG was age 61 when she first consulted me on August 8, 2023 for her thyroid concern. Originally, she had a 2.9 right thyroid nodule with a thyroid's 4 categorization on ultrasound. My diagnosis as a clinician was colloid adenomatous nodule despite the thyroid's 4 categorization, which means moderately suspicious for cancer. And I treated her with levothyroxine. After 1.5 months, 1.5 years, the nodule had decreased in size. Clinically, the palpable nodule was no longer palpable after 1 year of medicine. After 1 year of medicine. And then ultrasonographically, the mass decreased from 2.9 to 0.06 in 1.5 years. Despite the continuous decrease in the size of the right thyroid nodule, the ultrasonographers had not changed their thyroid's 4 categorization. Again, thyroid's 4 means moderate suspicion for cancer. This causes undue anxiety on the part of the patient whenever she would see thyroid's 4. Pag nakita yung thyroid's 4, kasi nakalagay doon, suspicious for cancer, tatakot na yung mga pasyente. So, in this teach and learn and teach section, we will see how thyroid's categorization work and look at the imperfections or flaws in the clinical problem solving and decision making and management of patients with thyroid nodules. So this is the end of the patient's story. I will now go to the learn and teach. So I'll be discussing what is the thyroids, what are thyroids 3 to 5, how does R.O. Hawson manage a patient with a thyroids 3 to 5, and some takeaways from the patient's story. What is thyroids? Thyroid stands for, the T stands for thyroid, I, imaging, R, reporting, and then A, N, D, data, and then S, system. So thyroid imaging, reporting, and data system. Ang equivalent sa breast, meron din equivalent dito sa breast, we call that BI-RADS. Instead of T, magiging B, BI-RADS in breast. So BI-RADS stands for Breast Imaging, Reporting, and Data System. Very popular na ito yung mga reporting system sa ultrasound. No? May BI-RADS, may TI-RADS, may PI-RADS sa prostate din, ganun, prostate imaging, reporting, and data system. Okay. So, TI-RADS is a risk assessment reporting system for thyroid nodules on ultrasound, containing a standardized scoring system for reports, providing users with recommendations for when to use a fine needle biopsy, aspiration biopsy, when to have an ultrasound follow-up of suspicious nodule, and then when to safely leave alone nodules that are benign or not suspicious. So these are the objectives of the recommendations in the TI-RADS, when to do a biopsy, when to have a follow-up interval, then when to say that you can just leave the nodules alone without doing anything, okay? Watch and wait or just medications. The TI-RADS was developed by radiologists and ultrasonographers. Okay. So ito yung mga specialists on these X-rays and ultrasound. So we call them radiologists and ultrasonographers as differentiated from clinicians like me. Okay. So in which we have a direct dealing with patients, examining patients. So this TI-RADS was developed by radiologists and ultrasonographers as a guideline on how to manage thyroid nodules properly and rationally, and how to reduce the unnecessary interventions like needle biopsy and the thyroidectomy operation itself. So the main background reason for this development of TI-RADS is that thyroid nodules are exceedingly common, not only in the abroad, but also in the Philippines. So they always lead to costly interventions for many lesions that ultimately prove to be benign. So meaning a lot of unnecessary interventions are being done before the development of TI-RADS. So the radiologists and ultrasonographers are concerned with these issues, so they develop this system of reporting. So they try to see if they can reduce the number or the frequency of unnecessary biopsy, unnecessary operations. There are at present 3 popular versions of TI-RADS. You have the American College of Radiology. I think it started in America. Then you have the European, and then you have the Korean. So I've come across Australian, another version. Okay, all 3 have the same goals and objectives. There are differences though, but basically they have the same. They use the point system based on nodule characterization, usually 5 sets. So they will describe the characteristics of the thyroid nodules with 5 parameters, and then they come out with some points here. As I said, there are other countries coming out with their own versions and modifications of TI-RADS. Example, Australia. Maybe in the Philippines, I don't know kung makakalabas yung Philippines. Okay. So in the Philippines, the American College of Radiology TI-RADS version is being used. So this is what I will be discussing from here on using the American College of Radiology version. So scoring, TI-RADS is a scoring system. Yeah, the scoring is determined from 5 categories of the ultrasound findings. The higher the cumulative score, the higher the TI-RADS level and the likelihood of malignancy. So mas masama ang TI-RADS 5 compared to TI-RADS 3, TI-RADS 2, or TI-RADS 1. The higher the number, the more, the greater the likelihood of malignancy. So before the scoring is done, the ultrasonographer looks at the characteristics of all the thyroid nodules present on ultrasound. So only nodules are included in the scoring. Kung walang nodules, walang thyroid scoring. So ito yung 5 categories when used by the radiologist to put a score on. So composition, echogenicity, shape, margin, and echogenic foci. I won't go into details here. I'll just show you the principles being done here. So they have some points here. Okay, kung cystic, 0, ganon. Spongiform, 0. Mixed, complex, 1. And then kung purely solid, mas mataas. Okay? So kung mataas ang number, mas nakakatakot. Okay. Kung sa shape naman, sabi nila wider than tall, 0 points, mas maganda. Kung taller than wide, 3 points. Mas ano. Kung sa margin naman, smooth, 0, ill-defined, 0, lobulated or irregular, 2 points. Then extrathyroidal extension, 3. So, then ito total nila, ito yung mga point nito magkukuha sa composition, echogenicity, shape, margin, and echogenic focus. And then they come out with, kung ito yung 0 point lumabas, they label it as thyroid 1, which is benign. And then no biopsy needed. Then kung 1 to 2 points ang lumabas, so thyroid 2, not suspicious, not fine needle aspiration needed. Kung 3 points, it will be equivalent to thyroid 3, mildly suspicious. And then kung yung bukol ay nodule is more than 2.5, then they would suggest a needle biopsy. Kung less than, follow-up lang. Hindi kailangan i-biopsy. Then kung 4 to 6 points ang total score, it will be thyroid 4, moderately suspicious. And then kung 7 points, thyroid 5, highly suspicious. So the scoring is based on the points determined by these parameters: composition, echogenicity, shape, margins, and echogenic foci, 5 parameters. And then yung cumulative score is 0 to 6 or 7, ang highest 7 or even more. Then they classify it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ito again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the highest. The points here will be, equivalent points will be 0, 2, 3, 4 to 6, 7 points. No? Okay. And then kung anong ibig sabihin ng thyroid 3, mildly suspicious, thyroid 4, moderately suspicious, thyroid 5, highly suspicious. Ang pinakamaganda, of course, is thyroids 1 and 2. And then ang conversion into the risk of malignancy, kahit na 0 siya, kahit na benign, meron pang small, sa medicine kasi walang 100% certainty in everything. So there's a small chance na pwede pa rin may cancer even with thyroids 1. No? Kahit na thyroids 1 siya, may 0.3 pa rin. But kung sa thyroids 3, there's a mildly suspicious 4.8 chance of getting of the nodule being malignant. Then kung thyroids 4, no, ang laki ang rate, ito 9.1 the average, no, from 5.9 to 12.8. And then kung thyroids 5, 35% risk for malignancy. Pero ang range noon is 20 to 68. So, malaking range din. No? Okay. So here are the recommendations for the needle biopsy and then the recommendations for the follow-up. No? So again, thyroids 1, benign. Thyroids 2, not suspicious. Ito yung pinakamaganda. If you have a ultrasound done with thyroid scoring, pag nakita 1 and 2, huwag na kayo mag-alala. No? Pero ang nakakatakot dito will be thyroids 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Kung thyroid 3, mas maganda. Pero there's still there's an anxiety pa rin because meron the word mildly suspicious. So how does R.O. Hawson manage a patient with a thyroid 3 to 5? Let's just focus on 3 to 5 kasi yan ang nakakatakot. So I usually correlate the ultrasound report, the findings, and the thyroid categorizations with my clinical findings, meaning yung aking history and physical examination. But I rely more on the physical examination. History, pwedeng let's say 10 years na siya gumagamot ng benign, suddenly nagkaroon siya ng thyroid 4, so I'll give more importance to the history kung 10 years na siya. No? At there are times in which lumiliit naman, despite na lumiliit, the radiologist will still make a categorization of thyroids 4 or even 5. So I would put more emphasis on my clinical findings. But just the same, ibabangga ko yung report ng ultrasound with my findings, yung aking palpation. Ako, kinakapa ko yung lahat ng pasyente ko with the thyroid. No? There are a lot of doctors who don't palpate the thyroid, the neck of the patients. No? So after correlating, I decide whether to accept or not the recommendations accompanying the thyroid score. Kasi pag may score, may recommendations yan. To do needle biopsy, and then kung kailan ipa-follow up, no? Okay, I'll make a decision on that. No? So as I said kanina, pag may points into thyroids 1, 2, 3, 4, and then may categorization, and then may recommendation when to do needle biopsy. Foremost in deciding how to deal with thyroids 3 to 5 reports, I factor in my clinical diagnosis derived from history and physical examination findings. Then the ultrasound, titingnan kasi sa ultrasound may mga descriptive findings. So I also look at the descriptive findings of the detected nodule. So I put aside first the thyroid's categorization. My diagnosis derived from correlating my physical examination findings with the descriptive ultrasound findings. And then, of course, my past and personal current experience. I have more than 40 years of experience as a thyroid specialist. I also factor in the flaws and limitations of the ultrasonographers that I have known in making a thyroid categorization. So I assume it's a given that there are flaws and limitations of the ultrasonographers, now which I will explain later on. Of course, I also consider my personal limitations and flaws. I'll be very, very careful in re-examining yung mga, let's say, kung accuracy ng PE ko, uulitin ko, no? Okay. So I'll try to make sure that di rin ako nagkakamali. No? So more specific scenarios would be this one. So if my clinical findings based on PE and history and diagnosis on nodules that are palpable, ang scenario nito, nakakapa natin, no? Bukol, are consistent with the ultrasonographer descriptive findings, then I accept the thyroid 3 to 5 categorization, but not necessarily the recommendation on needle biopsy. I have to make another decision on this. So kung may nakapa, tapos merong categorization by the ultrasonographer in terms of 3 to 5, I might agree with the thyroid's classification, but not necessarily the recommendations on the needle biopsy. So if they're not consistent, kung di siya consistent sa findings ko with the ultrasound, I have to decide what to do next. You usually discuss this with the patients, tell them my opinions and recommendations, and then get an informed consent on what to do. So this is a shared decision with the patient. Now, if the nodules are still palpable, okay, but are not consistent with the ultrasonographer's descriptive findings, yung aking findings are not pareho dun sa findings ng ultrasound, I may do the following options. Okay? So 1, needle biopsy. 2, repeat ultrasound in another institution to get the second opinion. trial of medical suppressive therapy if benign nodules are being suspected. So this may be done with or without biopsy or repeat ultrasound. And then the other option is just observation, watchful waiting without any of the above mentioned procedures. So again, if my clinical findings and diagnosis on the nodules that are palpable, let's say ang findings ko benign, pero yung ultrasound sinasabi niya thyroid's 5, no, hindi ako agree doon. So I might consider doing all these things, but depending on the situations and also with the informed consent of the patient. Another scenario, yung mga hindi man nakakapa, no, pero meron mga thyroids 3 to 5 categorization. So, but even with the hindi ko nakakapa, but if my clinical diagnosis is benign with 90% more than 9 or more probability or likelihood, particularly if I suspect colloid adenomatous nodule, then I discuss with the patients, tell them my recommendations, and then get an informed consent on the trial of medical suppressive therapy with close follow-up, both clinical and using ultrasound monitoring. Okay, kung wala akong nakakapa, tapos may thyroid 3 to 4, 3 to 5, pero yung diagnosis ko still benign, sabihin ko sa pasyente, pwede nating subukan muna ng gamot, but ipa-follow up natin closely. Now, for the non-palpable thyroid nodules with the thyroids 3 to 5 categorization, if the categorization is not consistent, okay, pareho lang ito, no? So in the patients presented, my clinical diagnosis on the first meeting on the right thyroid nodule was a colloid adenomatous nodule with more than 90% probability based on pattern recognition and prevalence in the Philippines. The nodule was not hard, di siya matigas, and it was not fixed. There was no palpable lateral neck nodes, wala siyang kulani. Okay. An ultrasound, the nodule was complex. When you say complex, there's a combination of solid and cystic. And then there were multiple concomitant cystic nodules. So if I have these findings on a particular patient, I would suspect colloid adenomatous nodule. So these were my basis for suspecting colloid adenomatous nodule. Kung multiple naman nodules, we call it multiple colloid adenomatous goiter. Kahit na sabihin ng ultrasonographer, thyroid 4 siya. Okay. So then I offered two options right after my clinical evaluation. One is a trial of medical suppressive therapy without a prior needle aspiration biopsy and a needle aspiration biopsy. So the patient chose, kinausap ko, a patient chose to have a needle aspiration. So ginawa namin. So doing a needle aspiration biopsy was part of the thyroid management guideline. Thyroid 4 and a size of more than 1.5 on ultrasound. Yung nodule ng pasyente was 2.9. Kaya it's within the guidelines. But the result of the biopsy showed hemorrhagic smear. So we decided not to repeat it anymore. Kung sa ibang doktor yan, i-repeat pa nila. Sasabihin nila, inadequate sampling. But I did not repeat it anymore because I have the gross findings to rely on and proceeded to a trial of medical treatment. So in the end, it turned out that we accomplished the first option after all. That is the medical treatment without prior biopsy. Without prior biopsy, kasi na-biopsy nga, pero wala namang magandang result, no? So parang wala rin, no? But as I said, it has been my practice to rely on my biopsy technique based on cross, no? Without relying on the pathologies at times, no? So the patient responded to medical suppressive therapy, both clinically means nawala sa kapa lang, nawala ay bukol, and based on ultrasound, lumit, no? Lumit sa ultrasound. So however, despite this, the ultrasonographer maintained a TI-RADS 4 categorization, despite knowing that the nodule size, because ito yung mga examination came from the same hospital, okay, may follow-up, no? Same, not the same ultrasonographer, pero same hospital, nakikita nila yung progress ng nodule. So the nodule size has progressively shrunk from 2.9, initially, ito ang original size, then 2.5, and then 1.1, and then finally 0.7 centimeter. So as a rule, as a general guideline, pag may progressive decrease in the size of a mass, no, it is usually not a sign of malignancy, but rather a sign of benignity. So yun ang general rule. So kung meron ito, usually dapat yung from suspicion for cancer, dapat ma-lessen pa or even mawala. No? But here in this ultrasound report, na-maintain nila yung ultrasound 4, TI-RADS 4, without considering the decrease in the size of the mass. So why did the ultrasonographers maintain a TI-RADS categorization? As I said, this stands for moderate suspicion for cancer despite the progressive decrease in the size, which strictly speaking is a sign of benign or not cancer. Why not change the categorization to TI-RADS 3? Kasi lumiit na, so baka pwedeng gawing TI-RADS 3 na lang instead of TI-RADS 4 or even TI-RADS 2, not suspicious for cancer. The answer is the TI-RADS does not use the size or change in the size of the nodule in the point system. So I have to give a very objective answer here because dun sa parameters that they use, the composition, the shape, walang kasama yung size. No? Okay. So kaya hindi na-affect yung TI-RADS scoring. It does not use the change in the size, especially towards a decrease or diminution direction in the TI-RADS categorization. I can understand in the initial ultrasound if there is no previous ultrasound to compare with, not to use the size of the thyroid nodule in the point system, as cancer can be of any size when it is first detected on ultrasound. Pero yung may subsequent follow-up na, nakita na yung may pagbabago niya sa size, okay, especially with the decrease in size direction, I think so, pero sabi ko nga, they don't use the size as a parameter, but I think it should initiate a shift from a higher degree of suspicion for cancer to a lower degree. In the 5 sets of parameters for characterization and assigning points, namely composition, echogenicity, shape, margin, and echogenic foci, there may be changes, both inherent. Example, the tumor characteristics itself, such as changing from mixed, more solid to more cystic, and extrinsic, if the ultrasonographer interpretation with tumor characteristics may be different from one reader to another, that might initiate a shift in the categorization. Okay. But the end goal and objective of TI-RADS is to guide the patient and also the doctor on what to do in a most informative and accurate way, as well as in the most friendly way, and not causing anxiety where it is not justified and can be avoided. So yan ang end goal ng TI-RADS in the end. Okay. So another flaw in the TI-RADS is in the recommendation for FNA, fine needle aspiration and follow-up. So sa TRA, sinasabi nila, fine needle aspiration if greater or equal to 2.5. Then follow-up if greater than or equal to 1.5. So this is quite confusing. It's better to just say follow-up if less than 2.5. Anong mangyayari dun sa in-between, sa interval between 1.5 and 2.5? So the same flaws are seen in TI-RADS 4. Okay? TI-RADS 4 kasi FNA Okay, fine needle aspiration, if it's more than 1.5 or equal to 1.5, then follow up if more than 1.1 centimeter. So anong mangyari dun sa between 1 and 1.5? No? Okay. Another flaw, the third flaw, this is my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations in the thyroids, is in the labeling system and categorization and the lexicon used, the terminologies. Outright, the lexicon causes undue anxiety not only on the part of the patients, but also to the physicians, especially on T3, thyroids 3, and to thyroids 4, or at least on thyroids 3 to 4, to T4. Since majority of thyroids 3 to thyroids 4 nodules, as read by the ultrasonographers, will turn out to be benign, my question is, why not use a lexicon that focuses on the chances of benignity rather than malignancy? So rather than saying what are the chances of malignancy, bakit di use? What are the chances na it's benign? Para mas magaan pakinggan. Na? So for example, for thyroids 3, ang ginagamit nila, the current lexicon, they say mildly suspicious for cancer. So my TPORs or suggestions, so why don't they just use a most likely benign, okay, rather than saying mildly suspicious? So most likely benign, mas magandang pakinggan, no? Okay, mas hindi nakakatakot. Again, for thyroids 4, moderately suspicious. So why not use more likely benign? More likely, ito most likely, thyroids 3, ito more likely. Okay. Then for thyroids 5, okay, highly suspicious. So for me, this can be retained and maintained. Kasi talagang may highly suspicious. But for 3 to 4, pwedeng palitan ng terminology. Those are just my recommendations. So some takeaways from the patient's story. Number 1, don't be alarmed when you have thyroids 3 to 5 categorization in your reports. Don't be alarmed right away. Okay, matakot. Okay, kagad. Look at the thyroids as most likely to be benign rather than focusing on mildly suspicious for cancer. Then look at thyroids 4 as more likely to be benign rather than focusing on the moderate suspicion for cancer. So, but balik na rin na lang yung viewpoint. Yung from negative connotation to gawin yung positive thinking or positive connotations. Then have a thyroid specialist to interpret them for you by doing a correlation of the clinical findings and descriptive ultrasound findings. So this should be done by the thyroid specialist. He or she will or should factor in the inaccuracies in the ultrasonographer's interpretation. Huwag yung thyroid physicians who will just rely on the ultrasound findings. He has to do an examination of the physical examination of the patient's neck and the thyroid, and then make another decision. Okay. Then let him or her explain and make a recommendation on what to do next. The thyroids 3 and 5 to 5 may change for the better in due time, so it's not fixed. Okay. Don't be alarmed at the thyroids 3 to 5 right away. Look and consult an excellent. I want to emphasize the word excellent here. Thyroid specialist to examine you, to interpret ultrasound findings and the thyroid scoring, and to advise you what to do. This is how I would describe an excellent thyroid specialist. If you have to look for one, a clinician who deals with patients directly, okay, not the yung mga doctors, like diagnosticians, like ultrasonographers, etc. Okay, so they rely more on the diagnostic test rather than on the patient's actual physical findings. So a clinician dealing with patients with a thyroid concern, so that's the first first parameter that you have to look for. Then who have many years of experience, who do physical examination. As I said, a lot of doctors do not do physical examination nowadays. They rely on the diagnostic test, the lab test, the mga x-rays, the mga ultrasounds. Then who can correlate the clinical findings with the lab tests. Okay. So these are the minimum parameters or qualifications that I use to describe a excellent thyroid specialist. Okay, that's the last slide. Okay, so summary and takeaway, I have presented a story on a patient with a thyroid ultrasound findings of thyroid 4. Okay, and then I have shown you pointed out to you the flaws and imperfections. Okay, and then I have explained what is a thyroids 3 to 5, and how I manage a patient with a thyroids 3 to 5, and then some takeaways, some advice from me from the patient's story. Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment: be always in touch with reliable medical information on the flaws of the thyroid ultrasound thyroids. Knowledge is power, it gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment: kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, and kapangyarihan to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on the management of thyroid ultrasound thyroids reports as part of your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding on some of the flaws. Some lang naman, there are some usefulness of the thyroids, but there are flaws. Okay, some flaws on the thyroid ultrasound. Okay, thyroids as reporting as part of your health management based on the patient's story. Before we go to the QA portion, reminder, please take the online Learning.com evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this. I have placed the link in the chat box. And then obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a voucher for a RO Hoson medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. And then feedback to this pep talk, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum. And before we adjourn, I would like to welcome you to do this. No? I appreciate all those feedback that I get from in the past. And then, okay, let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interactions. Please turn on your video now. Please show your faces. Okay. All set? Who wants to be part of the memorabilia? Okay. Okay, ready. Isa pa, si Therese pa. One. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Screen. Save. May pahabol. 1, paulit. Paulit lang. Huhabol na si... Okay, ulit. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the floor is now open for questions, comments, recommendations, sharing of experiences, consults. A short consult I can entertain short consults. Okay. I'm sorry, this is quite a very extensive lecture today. Kaya lang, I think it's a very common concern nowadays na kailangan malaman ng ng mga kababayan natin, no? Okay. So any questions? I see a lot of new faces here. Ami, anong problema? May tanong ka, Ami? Ami is, okay, Grace go.
Yes,
W
okay.
go. Okay.
Yes po.
Any
Yes po.
questions?
No more, none na po, Doc.
Nan, yung natatandaan ko yung sa iyo, history
yeah,
mo,
yeah.
palaging may Thyroids 4 ganon, pero
Yan,
despite
opo.
lumiliit na Thyroids 4, Thyroids 4, Thyroids 4 pa rin.
And opo, may thyroid sport palagi ngayon. Hindi
Ah,
nababago.
Oo,
Even kahit na po
despite yun.
kahit na po nag-decrease yung aking notes, ganun pa rin.
Okay, so don't
Ah,
worry, ha? Ganun din yung
yes
asawa
po.
ko. Yung asawa ko naman, sa ibang
Opo.
pasyente, I've been treating
Mm,
my wife for the past 20 years, lumiliit naman, and then
opo.
nung pumasok na itong mga thyroids reporting, yun, lumalabas
Nagulo.
ng 4, 4, 4, 4. So, hindi
Nagugulo.
nila
Opo nga eh.
kinoconsider na lumiliit,
Pero
lumiliit.
satisfied naman. Opo. Satisfied naman po ako sa mga explanation nyo during my last consultation with you.
Ah,
Kaya
okay.
naintindihan ko na po.
Sige, extend na lang itong mga information to your friends,
Yes.
to your ha?
Opo.
As I
Yes
said,
po. Mm,
this is a very a problem that parang very we call that rampant problem na
talaga po.
hindi
Nakakatakot
alam
po talaga.
hindi alam
Kung di
ng
ko po
mga
narinig yung explanation.
hindi alam ng
Yes
mga
po.
layman, no? Tapos
Opo.
hindi rin na-explain ng mga a lot of doctors,
Mhm,
no?
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Okay, so help me
Okay po.
propagate this information to other
Yes
patients
po.
para matulungan
Opo.
natin to
Opo,
avoid
tama po kayo.
unnecessary concern, anxiety, and also operations, di ba?
Yes po.
Okay,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
So any other comments? Thank you for attending, Ami.
Yes po. Salamat din
Okay.
po sa
Okay,
natutuhan namin.
Susan. Ah,
Yung kanina, Doc, di po ba yung mga thyroids, 1, 2, 3, 4, tas merong sasabihin na suspicious or something. So, yun yung nakaka-anxiety eh. Parang
Yes.
miski ako nung meron akong mga ganon. Ano to, mamamatay na ba ako? Yung ganon ka na, naprapraning ka na. So, sabi niyo kanina, meron kayong term na ibinibigay which will come likely to the patient na parang magkaka-hope ka na, okay naman pala, wala akong dapat isipin. Yung ganon, di ba? Baka na pwede niyong ma-suggest sa association of whoever na palitan na nila yung mga comment para hindi naman po nakakatakot.
Yeah.
So you agree
Tama.
with me? You agree with me, di ba? Pag narinig
Yes
yung mga
po.
suspicious, na
Oo.
nakakatakot na bakit hindi kasi let's say kahit na 3% chance lang na suspicious, no? Gawin na lang nila kung 90% na benign naman, edi say more
Opo.
likely benign na lang, di ba?
Kaya nga,
Baliktarin na
oo.
lang.
Tapos parang ikaw naman na, I mean, you did not offer surgery kasi parang
Hindi
ginawa mo pa na you tried on the
i-picture mo.
medicine to para
Screenshot.
maging
Sige.
maliit si thyroid, di ba? Kung
Yeah.
meron ganun, kung suspicious
Picture mo yan.
na,
Save,
oh my
save
God,
mo.
parang yan, mamatay na ako,
Smile.
ganun.
Picture mo yan.
Okay. Tama ka. Pero kaya mahirap i-suggest sa mga associations yan from my part. Who am I? Who am I? kaya ako, I'm just concentrating on patient empowerment.
Hindi, from the sound.
Tuturuan ko na lang yung public. No? Okay.
Opo.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you for your comment. Okay. Sino pa? Sino pa may experience sa mga Okay.
Dok, may tatanong ako.
Si Perla, okay.
Kasi doktor, mula nung mag-opera ako, ang gamot ko na is Eltroxin.
Okay.
Lately, nagpunta ako sa aking endocrinologist, parang kulang yung iniinom ko na Eltroxin. Pinalitan niya ng levothyroxine. Okay lang ba yung doktor, yung levothyroxine?
Para lang yun.
Pareho lang din ba sa Eltroxin yun?
Oo, yung levothyroxine is the, what do you call that? That's the chemical name of the drug. Okay? And then, under, yung Eltroxin is a brand. Yung nagmanufacture ng company nagmanufacture ng levothyroxine. No? So there's another company which can produce levothyroxine. They call it Tidine. Di ba? May Tidine, may Urolep, Eltroxin, Euthyrox. That's another one. Euthyrox. Yan ang pinakamahal. So far as I know. Ha? So, pag binigyan kayong Euthyrox, no? Pwede yon, pero mahal yon, no? So, pwede niyong sabihin, meron ba kayong mas mura? Levothyroxine pa rin, parehong laman, no? Okay, so Tidine so far ang pinakamura so far, ha? Palay ko meron pa dyan. Yung from India, may pumapasok na from India na gamot, no? May mas mura pa, no? Kaya lang mas mahirap ihanapin, no? Okay.
O
Okay.
kasi akala ko malakas yung kasi yun ang inireseta nyo sa mga patient nyo na may goiter. Eh ako wala naman akong goiter na yun lang TSH ko kasi doktor kung nagpapa-check up ako parang minsan mababa, minsan mataas. 'Di ba yung mababa parang kulang? Ay hindi yung mababa sobra. Parang ganoon eh. Yung mataas naman kulang. 'Di ba ganun yung doktor ang analysis nyo, yung mga ganun?
Yeah, pero okay. As I said, yung a lot of doctors have different mindset, different diskarte. So baka gusto mo mag-second opinion na lang.
Oo nga doktor
Get a
palaging
second opinion from another doctor. Not, no. Nasa sa'yo. Baka kung trusted doctor mo na yung endo mo, no, mahirap, Pero kung may kine-question ka, try another doctor. It doesn't have to be me.
yung aso ko
Okay.
na
But
kumakahuli.
you're welcome to see me.
O yun lang
Okay.
doktor, yun lang po. Kasi akala ko kasi magkaiba yun.
Okay. Para lang yon. Iba yung
Ang tagal
levothyroxine
ko na
and
kasi ininom
Eltroxin.
yung Eltroxin mula noong 1999 eh. Ngayon lang
Oo.
na palitan.
Okay. So, any other comments?
Ako, Dok.
Any other comments? Yeah, okay, Susan.
May phone-in question ako. Hindi naman
Sure.
phone-in.
Oo.
Actually, my husband, di po ba may thyroid siya?
Oo.
So, di ba, sa amin po naman, sa former company namin, so meron kaming consultation with the doctors doon. So ngayon, nire-request siya to have ultrasound. So, doon sa thyroid niya. So, parang nakita niya, parang napansin niya, na every now and then na ma-ultrasound siya, yung mga nodules niya, merong increase sa sizes.
Increase.
Parang ganun. Increase sa size, parang
Okay.
lumalaki, although hindi naman ganon kalaki, yung maliit lang naman siya, pero nag-i-increase ng size. So, ang ano niya, kasi wala naman sinasabi yung doktor niya or something, kung mawawala po ba yan, or ano ba dapat ang force of action niya dyan, or hindi ba siya mag-worry, okay lang yan, yung ganun, Dok. Yun ang question niya.
Hindi niya tinatanong sa doktor niya.
Tinanong niya, wala naman daw sinasabi.
Bakit
Too
walang
small
sagot?
daw to aspirate. Yun naman yung sabi. Too small to aspirate.
Too small. Pero sasabihin niya ang importante diagnosis. Kung ang diagnosis niya benign, no? MCAG, baka MCAG pa rin yan, multiple colloid adenomatous goiter, sabihin niya. No? Okay. Rather than saying
So,
too
dapat
small
tanungin kung ano yung diagnosis.
Ha?
Dapat itanong po kung ano yung diagnosis niya dun sa maliliit na nodules.
Kasi kadalasan yung mga doctor not in the habit of telling you the diagnosis. They will just sabihin ka, magpa-ultrasound ka na, no, without telling you why. So too small to
To aspirate.
Pag sinabi niyang benign siya at too small to aspirate kung sabihin na benign, 99% benign, may 1% na malignant, no? So most likely benign, di ba?
Apo.
No? So, sabi niya, kung hahabulin mo yung 1%, no? Kung ibabiopsy natin, too small, wag na lang, di ba?
Apo.
Okay. So that could be the chain of explanation. Dapat ganon. Diagnosis mo na, then what to do, ganon. Hindi yung too small to aspirate without the diagnosis.
Apo. Tapos wala nang sasabihin.
Okay?
Okay, thank you, Doc.
You're welcome. Okay, any other comment? Any other questions? Can we hear for the newcomers? Pwede? Okay lang, so that we want to welcome you also. Okay. Elmira, Concepcion, any questions? Meron kayong tanong, Elmira?
Wala naman sir, medyo na-shed naman ng light yung findings, initial ultrasound ko. Nung nirepeat nyo, medyo na-lighten up naman.
Okay, yung kay Elmira, if I can share with them, yung sa kanya, ThyREDS 5, tama? ThyREDS 5, then in 1 month's time, pinaulit namin, naging ThyREDS 3, 4, 3. Naging 3, di ba? Okay. So, and then, ang sizes, ang nodules, iba rin, no? From marami,
Opo.
naging konti, no? So that shows mga discrepancy ng mga ultrasonographers, no? Okay. So wag kayo,
Opo.
importante yung doktor na titingin sa iyo, no? Iko-correlate, no? Kasi if we just rely on one ultrasound, iba-biopsy ka na talaga, no?
At
Okay.
saka nakaka-nervous po yun, ito parang 2-page result, nakaka-nervous.
Okay. Good. Sige. So, I made a story out of that. Nakita mo ba? Discrepancy, na post ko, discrepancy of ultrasound of the thyroid. Now, what to do? No? Okay. Of course, without mentioning your name. No? Okay. So, basahin mo na lang, Elvira. Ha? Okay.
Opo.
Okay. Any
Thank you po.
questions? I see a question kanina. Sa chat ba? Sa chat box ba yun? Apet? Okay. Hello. Okay. This is from Jamaica. Agustin. I'm a 22-year-old. I've been diagnosed po of nodular goiter pero matagal na hindi po nakapag-check up. Lumalaki nga lang po. No? Okay. So, anong gusto mong i-comment ko ngayon? Jamaica? You want to follow up your questions? Delikado po ba? Kasi when you say nodular goiter, tell you honestly, magulo yung mundo yung mga doktor, tsaka yung WHO, tsaka mga pathologists, mga ano, they have different terminologies no? Iba-ibang yung terms na ginagamit, no? So kaya pag sinabi mo sa akin, nodular goiter, hindi ko rin maintindihan kung ano talagang ibig sabihin ng doktor mo, no? Ang WHO, they also use mga multiple nodular goiter, no? Wala kang makikitang colloid adenomatous goiter. Then mga pathologist naman, no? This dati-dati gumagamit silang colloid adenomatous goiter. Ngayon, may bagong terminology sila. Ang sinasabi nila follicular nodular disease, no? Sabi nila pareho lang 'yon, pero nagbago na yung mga pangalan, no? So there's no uniformity of terminology in the world, sabi natin sa buong mundo, no? And in the Philippines, wala rin, no? Okay. So hindi ko alam kung anong ibig sabihin ng nodular goiter na meron ka. The only thing that I can I can surmise or I can make a educated guess. May goiter ka na may bukol. To contrast it with diffuse. Diffuse goiter means yung parang namamagalang, lumaki yung lahat, no? So iba 'yon, no? Ibang implication noon. Pero pag may mga bukol-bukol ka, nodular goiter, there's a possibility that it could be malignant, no? Cancer, no? Pero fortunately, may awa ang Diyos, majority na mga nodules sa thyroid, as high as 90% pa rin, benign pa rin. No? Okay. So, kung meron ka bang kulani sa leeg, Jamaica? O, may kulani. Kung may kulani, medyo delikado, no? Okay. So, I guess you just have to see a doctor who can explain well to you, examine you, no? So, kasi hindi ko masasagot na kung delikado yan no? Okay, so I really have to examine you to, para makita ko talaga yung real story mo, no? Okay. So, in my practice, I usually, pag may mga pasyente pumupunta sa akin with a thyroid concern, this will be testified by a lot of you here. I do the palpation first before looking at all the lab tests, na kinakapa ko muna, na? Okay. So, para mas accurate ang aking mga magiging diagnosis at aking suggestions, na? Okay. So, Jamaica, you just wag mong ibaliwalayan kung may kulani ka, no? So consult a doctor, no? Look for a thyroid specialist. May ultrasound ka ba? Jamaica? O, ano yung result ng ultrasound mo? Baka baka may clue tayo dyan. Alam mo ba? Kahit na 2 years ago, natatandaan mo kung anong nakalagay? I'm allowing free consult na ito. Hindi na po, Doc. Anong hindi na po, Doc? Hindi na tayo. Sige. Hindi na po. Mas maliit pa po noon mas maliit pa po noon. So, ibig sabihin, lumaki na siya ngayon. No? Anyway, you just have to see a doctor whom you trust to check you up. No? Okay. Of course, I'm always available if you want to see me. Okay lang. No? Okay. So, it's really up to you. No? Okay. So, any more questions? Admirers, users, Grace.
Hello po, Doc. Good afternoon po. Grace. Grace.
Grace.
Opo. Good afternoon, Doc. Question na po. Although naman na po ako ng consultation previously sa mga endocrinologists, I also need your input din po. Actually, mine has yung pong ultrasound ko is ThyREDS 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Yes.
Okay. Sa dalawang nodule.
Opo, grabe that time yung panic ko po dun sa, pwede pong isend dito yung sa chat.
Sige, quick consult.
Pero Doc, tanong ko lang, wala ba tong talagang ang tawag dito, gamot or supplement? Kasi hindi ko alam saan siya nanggagaling eh.
Hindi, unang-una, diagnosis. Now, if you start with diagnosis, kung benign siya, you can still try medicine. Kung malaking suspetsya na cancer, then you operate. No? Okay. So, you start with the diagnosis muna. No?
ThyREDS 5 po yung nakita, pero too small for biopsy daw.
Tingnan ko lang ha.
Nasend ko po, Doc. Nasa chat, Doc. Ay, nasa direct message talk pala na send ko. Meron pong direct message sa inyo.
Left thyroid nodules. Okay, meron siyang solid hypoechoic wider than tall, ganon, margins with macro calcifications, ilagay uh, 0.76 lang naman, no? Kailan ba ginawa ito? January lang, no?
January.
0.76, that's small, kaya thyroid's 5, no? Okay. So usually pag ganito, ang recommendation is less than 1.5 centimeter, thyroid's 5, pwedeng i-observe lang muna, no? Okay. So, pero yung isa, yung sa right side mo, yung sa right side mo isa, left lobe.
Pareho po yata ang
Pareho
left.
sa left lobe, 1.7.
Opo, thyroid's
1.7.
3.
Okay.
Kailangan ko yata 2.5 ang thyroid's 3.
2.5 sa thyroid
Opo.
3. Okay. Okay, so ako, if I were to handle you, naging have I seen you before?
Hindi pa po. Sa
Hindi pa.
COVID po.
Ha?
COVID times pa po. Ng
COVID.
COVID. Pero
Ah.
not related po. Pero sa
Okay.
thyroids hindi po.
Okay. So kung if I were, mas maganda kung mapalpate ko yung leg mo
Oo nga
to,
po
to
eh.
correlate, no? Then, pero there's a high chance na kung ganon, I can give you a trial of medicine. But dapat makapako muna, no? Okay.
Opo. Paano po
Okay.
Dok ang consultation? Saan po usually kayo yung face-to-face consultation niya Dok?
Ang face-to-face ko is Manila doctors, no? Okay.
Mhm.
Then you just have to
Have an appointment.
yeah, PM me sa either Viber or kaya dito sa Facebook, no? Ganon, Messenger. So saan ka nag-telemedical sa akin noon?
Nung COVID po,
Kaya nga
na-COVID
sa
kami.
Viber, sa ano? Messenger?
Check ko Dok, hindi ko po ma-recall eh. Parang
Sige.
Viber yata.
Sige, try
I-PM ko na lang po kayo.
to contact me, then I'll give you a schedule. Once a week lang ako nag-face-to-face eh, no? Okay.
Okay po.
Okay. So try to contact me na lang, then I'll give you a schedule. No?
Thank you
Okay.
Dok.
For the moment, don't worry, basta ma-examine ka lang.
Oo
No?
nga po eh. Pinagpe-pray ko mag-miracle si Lord. May miracle.
Okay.
Wala.
Okay.
Sige po.
Any
Thank you
more?
Dok. PM ko na lang kayo.
Sige. So any more? Last call. It's already 3:30. So kung wala na, we'll call it a day. If you can type, you can PM me if you have other questions na lang, no? Okay. So we'll see each other next week again, no? I still don't know what topic. It could be a follow-up on the thyroids or another topic, no? Okay. So maraming kailangan i-discuss kasi sa thyroids, no? Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. I'll see each other next week, no? Bye-bye.
Happy
Thank you,
weekend,
Doc.
Doc.
Bye. Happy weekend.
Thank you. Bye, Doc. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye-bye.